Hey, I'm Dragon, and it's time for another quick tutorial. We're going to be going over a basic free-for-all parkour with timer. This request comes from the Creator Block Discord from Creator M20. Let's go ahead and see what we're building today. So this is how it works. The player starts the parkour by entering a teleporter. A timer tracks their time, and a tracker tracks their level. The player is successful only if they complete all levels. At the end, the time is shown as a lap time when they check their stats. These are some of the devices that you'll need to complete this particular setup. You need a player spawner pad, player reference device, tracker, save point device, switch device, teleporter, collectible device, checkpoint device, HUD message device, plus any additional devices or items needed to build your level. Some huge benefits include players can track their time and levels live in game. This setup is super simple and easy for anyone who is interested in building parkour games, and it uses event binding, which can also be used in UEFN. If you want to, you can add additional bonuses that players can find throughout your parkour to earn XP or gold to buy items or special abilities. In addition to that, consider adding a leaderboard and ask players to share their best score in your Discord or Fortnite community, and be sure to update regularly. If you do have any more questions, be sure to reach out to me in Discord. The links will be posted below. All right, the game is running, so let's go ahead and check out and do a quick play test before I show you the settings. All right, here we are. So the game is running, and you can see they can check their time here, but when they start and they check it before they play the game, there will be no time displayed. Let's go into the game. As they come across the checkpoint, the tracker is going to increment by 1, showing that they've completed a level, and it also shows how many levels they have to go. So for this particular tutorial, we have 3 levels, and I just started the first level here. All right, let's get through it. Let's go. If I don't make it through, I'm going to start at that last checkpoint. So it's really important that the players do have a checkpoint at each level. All right, I think I got 40 seconds. Let's check it out. Yep, about 40 seconds. So let's say I want to go back, and I think I can do better. You can see the tracker starts over again, and the timer does as well. 9 seconds, let's go. Oh, 10 seconds, even better. All right, that's really awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the settings and see how everything comes together. All right, first we're going to start with island settings, which is very important. Since this is a free-for-all, you want to make sure there's a few things that you have set to make this game work. That includes teams should be set to free for all. You should include your max players in your team size of 1. You want to ensure that your end conditions is set to a time limit of none. And then your HUD info type, this is up to you. This is displayed at the end of the game. You can choose to show it, not show it, and so forth. So these settings here, you can see I do not have them set besides for setting this to none. However, if you want to adjust that, make sure you do adjust that before you start placing devices on the map and getting that set. Also, if you're going to be using trackers and you know you're going to be using more than one, make sure you set your max trackers to the max limit, which is 6 in Fortnite 1.0. And let's see here, I believe that is all. Let me just double check to make sure. You can see we have no round win conditions. And so forth. And that is because the round will never end because there's no time limit. All right, next is setting up your player spawner pads. You want to make sure you have enough player spawner pads for all the players that you will be having in your game. So I have a max player of 7. I will just need 2 more pads to complete that. All right, every pad should be set as such. And you can see that that is consistent for every single player spawner pad. What's really important to include is to ensure that you want to use it as island start, and player team and player class is any. We have not set a main class for this particular game, as you can see in island settings. Our class settings is set to no class, and it's going to revert at the end of the game, which the game will not end, so it will never revert. It will always be no class. Alright, let's check out the teleporter that takes the player to the race. To simplify, we're going to use target groups. You don't have to. You can use events. However, whenever you use the target group, whenever the player enters this teleporter, it's going to take it to target group C, which is the teleporter that I have placed inside of the parkour. This is enabled during phase all, and select a team of all, and so forth. And by this being a teleporter group of none, that means that no other teleporter is going to be able to be teleported to this teleporter. This is only an outgoing teleporter and not an incoming teleporter. Now we don't have any functions, but we do have some events. So when the player enters this particular teleporter, they're going to start the timer device. They're also going to teleport to Parkour Race Start 2. So I did put that there as a backup. They're also going to enable the save point device, and they're going to be assigned a tracker. All right, the tracker. Now we're going to be tracking by events, and our target value will be the value or the amount of levels we have in our parkour. Currently I have 3, so the target value is 3. If you have 100 here, you're going to put 100. If you have 500 here, you're going to put that as well. The starting value will be 0, and so forth. It is important that you have sharing set to individual. That means it's going to only be applying towards that player. When the target is reached, we want to complete the tracker. And the amount to change per event will be by 1. We will be showing on HUD, and here you can put your tracker title, and I have it listed as levels, and so forth. And we will not be using persistence for this tracker. For functions, we're going to complete when receiving from Collectible Object Parkour Finish. This is my name of the collectible on collected, and this is the final collectible. We will reset progress when receiving from Teleporter Parkour Race Finish on teleported. So when they're teleported, we're going to reset this tracker, and that's when they're teleported from the finish line. We're going to increment progress when they collect all the coins that we have that are set as our collectibles. So we have level 1, level 2, and then the finish. We're going to assign when receiving from teleporter parkour race start on enter, and there are no events. Right, next we have a save point device, and it's enabled during gameplay only. There's no autosave, there's no auto load. And so forth here. We will be saving score in all scoreboard stats. We're not saving eliminations or assists. However, if you're trying to do something different, you can adjust this as needed. So, for function, we're going to save player when receiving from the last collectible. This is at the end of the finish line. And I'm using a blue pyramid for my very last collectible. Once they collect that, this device will save the stats of the player at that time. We're going to load player when receiving from the switch that they press to show their stats. So I've named that switch parkour time when it's turned on. We're going to also enable this device when they go through the very first teleporter to start the game when they enter, and we have to re-enable it when they switch on or turn on the player reference device to view their stats. We're going to disable it when they turn off the switch. Alright, next is the switch, and I named it parkour time. We're going to enable at game start yes. The initial state will be off, and it will be visible during the game. The turn on text will be view lap time, and turn off is turn off. And you can choose any device model that you like. We're using the default model, it looks pretty great. And an interaction time of 0.25. We want an instant cooldown time. And I placed an interaction radius of 0.25 and a reset, automatic reset of 10 seconds. And here are the settings that has been adjusted. As for functions, there's no functions. As for events, we're going to send events to 2 player reference device. We have one device that shows details only and no hologram, and we have another device that only shows the hologram and no player details. So we want to make sure we register both and activate both. So I've named mine's player reference parkour race and then player reference parkour race 2. And you can see I have them set to register player and activate both. In addition to that, the save point device should also be binded. We're going to load the player when they turn it on, and we're also going to enable it when they turn it on. When they switch the device off, we want to clear the player reference device and clear both of them. And we're going to disable the save point device. Alright, let's check out the player reference device. And I did have some light devices here just to bring it out a bit. So we have the bottom one, which is the hologram only, and the top, which is the player details only. So let's check out the bottom one. And these are the stats. And very important, player details are off. And for functions, we're going to register player when receiving from, the switch when it's turned on, activate when receiving from the switch when it's turned on. We're going to clear the player when receiving from the switch when it's turned off. And there are no events. Alright, so the other one, let's see if we can get that here. There we go. And these are the settings. And you can see the hologram is switched to off. And it is visible in game, and we're going to show player details. We are tracking the lap time for the stat. We want to always update the registered players. For functions, we're going to register player when receiving from the switch when it's turned on, activate from the switch when it's turned on. We're going to clear the player from the switch when it's turned off, and there's no events. Alright, the timer device. So I have the duration set for as long as it can go. That's about 1 week. And this is because some parkours go from 500 levels and up, so you want to make sure you provide enough time for your player to complete the game. I named it Parkour Race Timer. It's counting up, and it does not start at the beginning of the game. The players cannot interact. It only applies to the player. This is important. This means that the timers themselves are individualized, and let's say another player might be going through the parkour, their timer will be different compared to your timer. So this will track the players on an individual level rather than a group level. Success on timer end will be true, completion behavior will be stopped, and it will be visible during game for the tutorial. However, you can turn it to only timer or hidden. It's up to you. I have, when the timer is running, it's going to display your time. And yes, it will show on the HUD. There's no audio effects, and you want to make sure you enable urgency mode off. You want to show that the time style has elapsed, and set lap time on success is on. Right, these are the changes that have been made. Again, I'll go through that one more time. And for functions, we're going to start when receiving from, teleporter, parkour, race start. When they start the race and they go through that teleporter, the timer will begin. We're going to complete when receiving from. Once they collect that final collectible, the timer will complete itself, and it will also reset once they are at and have been teleported through the final teleporter, which is the finish line teleporter. And let's see, we're going to set lap time for player. This is important as well when receiving from the collectible. So once they do collect that item, the very last one at the finish line, we're going to set the lap time, and that's the time that's displayed on the player reference device. And there are no events. When they come back, they're going to be coming through this teleporter, which is Teleporter Parkour Race Finish 2. And let's check out the settings. For functions, we're going to teleport when receiving from collectible, the very final collectible at the end of the finish line, once they collect it. So on collected. For events, we want to make sure that we reset all the collectibles so that they can start again. So we want to respawn the final collectible. We're also going to reset the timer device. We're going to show a message once they do come through this teleporter that they have completed the parkour race. We're going to reset the progress on the tracker. We're going to respawn the first level collectible, respawn the second level collectible. Next, we have the HUD message device. And this simply says, congrats, you finished the parkour race. This will only be displayed to the triggering player. And I have a display time of about 5 seconds. And from here you can adjust if you want it to be shown in the top center, center right, or customize it however you like, and to play a sound. Alright, we're going to show and receiving from the final teleporter, which we just did right there on teleported. And there are no events. Alright, that completes everything that's happening in the main lobby. Let's go to the actual level. And you can see here we have our collectibles, we have the teleporter that they will enter once they start the race. So let's start with that. So this is teleporter group C, and there's no target group. And here are all the modified options so that you can see once again. Alright, the functions when teleporting, when receiving from, we're going to teleport when receiving from the teleporter parkour race start, which is the starting teleporter in the main lobby when they enter that teleporter. Again, we are also using groups on top of this for a backup. You can see if I do go through this, nothing happens because we do not have a target group. Next is the first checkpoint device. This is for level 1. So here's the modified options. But I want to include that it's really important to play the activate effects. It really helps the player know that they have passed that checkpoint. There are no functions and there are no events. I placed the collectible right over the checkpoint, and these are the settings. And it should be binded already, respond or receiving from teleporter when the race is finished on teleported. For events on collected, we're going to send an event to the tracker to increment the progress. Let's move to the next one. And this is for level 2. And the settings are quite the same. There's not too much of a difference. And then the collectible for level 2, I made sure I named it as such. And it is quite the same. Again, respawning when receiving from teleporter parkour race finish 2 on teleported. And this is the teleporter that they teleport to once they finish the game and they go back to the main lobby. When they collect this coin, it will also increment the progress on the tracker. Alright, and then the very last level. So you'll kind of repeat that process for every level that you have. And then for the last level, I have a different collectible. And a lot more is going on with this collectible. And you can see that here we have respawn receiving from. Once the race is finished and they're teleported back to the lobby, it's going to respawn. But we have some more events going on here on Collected. We're going to send events to the teleporter, the finished teleporter in the lobby to teleport them. The timer device to complete. The timer device to set lap time for player. The save point device to save the player. The tracker to complete. The tracker to increment progress. Let's go ahead and do another playtest so we can see what we built. Alright, game has started. Let's just jump right into the parkour. Alright, let's go. Let's go. I think I got a decent time here. 25 seconds is quite long. Let's try it one more time. Let's see here. You can literally just... No! You can literally just run through that. Just like this. Alright, see, easy peasy. Let's see how much better we did this time. 12 seconds. That's good. That's really awesome. Alright, let's go. Thank you guys for chilling. I do appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. And I do hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Keep the questions coming and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!